would be concerning and maybe set a precedent moving forward.
If you have plans to be outside, you might hit a couple of these little passing showers.
A drug bust and a few arrests made. Look at what they hauled in here.
Ooh, it's all pulsing.
Well,
Are we all in here
Yeah,
yet?
we are. It's a party.
Is it because of the dance party?
I think so.
Flag Day.
It is Flag Day. Oh, get it? Get it?
All right, there's all that going on. So old school with all four of us back in here. I'm actually kind of blocking the 9. You know what the show is. It's 9 News Now. Welcome to it. 7:02 every weekday. And actually on these weekdays as we kind of get going with this, Steve, as we get to Johnny as well with the drive, this is all about the heat, my man. It is just warm.
Yes, it is, including right here where we are, whatever it is, a little toasty.
We have
Yeah, it
it
is.
seen
It's
it?
packed.
that's because you're standing next to me. You're welcome.
That's it. It's just emitting
Okay.
hotness.
You got it.
He's sending you away.
Vantage.
He's sending you away.
Yeah, all right, guys. Yes, heat is going to be the big story today, no doubt about it. And you can see on our Sky 9 camera right now that we've got plenty of sunshine over the capital city. It's warming up. All right, let's give it a look at the graphics, Liz. It's going to heat up in a hurry outside. There you go. Sky 9 Camera Review brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, partly cloudy skies. And give you a look at, we've got a heat advisory in effect here for just about all of southeast Louisiana. I'm going to walk over to this side. That's in effect through 7 o'clock this evening. Heat index values that could get above 105. And so for that reason, the Weather Service posting that heat advisory. We're going to see, I think, many more of those in the days. It didn't get below 80 in some neighborhoods. Baton Rouge 83, Gonzales 81. So you've got a number of spots low to even mid 80s at 7 o'clock in the morning. And on top of that, when you look at the heat index this early in the morning, how about low to mid 90s? So what it feels like in some areas. Feels like 93 in Baton Rouge. Feels like 95 in New Iberia. Ridiculously warm to start out. All right, give you a look at our First Alert radar network. We were tracking some storms in North Louisiana, starting to fizzle out a little bit west of Jackson. And in our part of the world, we did have a few showers this morning. Looks like those are fizzling as well. Earlier this morning, the Storm Prediction Center was actually noting about a 40% chance they might post a tornado watch for parts of our world. I do I'm starting to think that trend, though, the trends work in our direction. That threat of storms looks to be lower. Temperature-wise, low 90s by noon, highs in the mid 90s once again today. Today's rain chances overall running about 30%, so not that high, but wherever we do get a storm or two bubbling, they could be strong. Now you see the forecast heat index up above 105 today, and that's our concern. That's why the National Weather Service has gone with the heat advisory. All right, let's give you a look at Futurecast, the HRRR, and it's really varied run to run here through the morning. You can see it keeps a few showers going here at 9 o'clock. By noon, though, it's got us mainly dry. Temperatures in the low 90s. 3 o'clock still has us mainly dry into the mid 90s. And right on into the evening keeps most of the storms to our north. Prior runs of the HRRR were actually showing some storms kind of blossoming here locally through the morning. That was some of the uncertainty. It looks to be backing off of that idea a little bit. But to my point about whatever storms may develop today could go strong. We do have a 1 out of 5 marginal risk near and north of Baton Rouge. And then the threat really ramps up the farther north you go to a very unusual 4 out of 5 moderate risk of severe weather today from Monroe through Jackson to Montgomery into parts of Georgia. And in fact, how unusual is this? Looks like this is the first time we know of a 4 out of 5 moderate risk has been posted here in the Deep South in the month of June. That's how unusual it is. So it could be a significant severe weather outbreak up to our north. And it's tied into, we got this dome of high pressure over Mexico, storms riding along the northern periphery, disturbances helping to generate those storms. There's already been some up to our north this morning, and we think maybe additional rounds through the day. But in our part of the world, heat will continue to be the biggest story. The heat index as soon as tomorrow could get closer to 110, and by the time we get to the weekend, that heat index could start to get above 110. We are indeed talking about dangerous heat. Rain chances overall running 20 to 30% on any given day. The actual air temperatures highs in the upper 90s, near record highs into the weekend. Notice the mornings as well, struggling to get below 80. That's part of the equation. And this is going to be an extended run of very hot weather. Highs continuing to top out in the upper 90s. It looks like right on into next week. So, Johnny, big time heat, it looks like, in the days ahead.
Oh, take all precautions that you've heard Steve talk about all these weeks leading up to this and today. In the world of traffic, right here in the Baton Rouge area, this is the 1012 merge. Traffic's getting a little bit of a late start, but we still see some a slowing of traffic in the Denham area and then right past the 1012 merge. And the merge, that a little in the upper part of that screen right here, this little sign right there is telling you that tomorrow night, Thursday night into Friday morning, there we go, Thursday night into Friday morning, they're going to have the College Drive off-ramp from 10 westbound completely closed as they continue this work on toward the widening project that they're doing at the college off-ramp. And right now, I-10 westbound at the Louisiana-Mississippi state line is still closed while they investigate a fatal accident that happened in the overnight hours. Again, it's coming in from like Bay St. Louis on I-10 west. As you cross over the Pearl River and get closer to Slide Hill, that's where that is going. All right, this particular program is designed to give you a capsule bullet form, real quick format of what you might have been too busy to hear this morning on the show or what you might have missed. And for that, we go to Liz Coe and Matt Williams.
Yeah, Johnny, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So always a lot going on here in South Louisiana. We're going to get back with those guys again as we kind of move you through Wednesday. But we're going to get you back in South Louisiana with the headlines. But this is a headline the whole country is paying attention to. What happens with the federal bank today?
Well, we're waiting to see whether we're going to see an 11th interest rate hike today from the Federal Reserve. But all signs are pointing to them kind of taking a break here this June to hopefully wait and stay out and see, because it looks like what the Federal Reserve is doing is working. So we're going to keep our eyes on that and see what's going to come out of their meeting today.
We'll see what Jerome Powell decides to end up doing. Even if they put a pause on that today, they could later this summer get another hike going. Okay, from that to this. We just told you about this at the back end of 9 News this morning on the mothership, WAFB. BRFD working a church fire this morning. Yeah,
this one actually happening at the Good Shepherd Full Gospel Missionary Baptist Church. This is kind of there on Mission Drive, not far from Winburn and Foster. Matt, the good news here, nobody was in the church at the time. The call came in at 5:50. They were able to get it under control within, 6:11?
Yeah, it was. They knocked this thing out really pretty quick, which is, I mean, we talk about, anytime FD rolls out that they never kind of know what they're rolling on into. Assess the situation real quick, knock the fire down. It was some construction equipment on the inside of the church, they say, that caught fire here, but able again to access it, knock it out, nobody hurt. We'll update you again if we find out any more information, but there you see the scene right there. They rolled the trucks out and got there quick.
And heads up, that's also church. There was a fire there back in January of 2022, kind of similar reason, construction material there found on fire. We'll keep you posted.
This is something that is kind of new this morning because the investigation is just getting going, but the shooting that we're talking about actually happened late Monday night, about 10 o'clock in Baton Rouge.
We're told this happened there on Cadillac Street in front of actually the Cadillac grocery
so
market
a lot of folks
right
know where
there.
that is, exactly.
It's 9:53, so right before 10 o'clock Monday night, 29-year-old Dante Tate has been identified as the victim, but police are still looking for information of what led to the shooting and how this all happened, Matt.
So if you've got some information that might be able to help get them going in the right direction, it's a phone number that works in South Louisiana. Crime Stoppers, and it works because of you. So make the call. No one's ever going to know who you are. 100% anonymous. 344-STOP will get you to where they need to be. Okay, so from a shooting to those who are perhaps behind bars looking at a death sentence here in Louisiana, many of them actually writing a bit of a letter to Governor John Bel Edwards.
51 of the inmates there on death row looking to shift their time there from death row to life in prison without the possibility of parole. So all of them lining up to see whether this is going to be granted before the governor's term ends there. Jeff Landers saying he's going to fight that and not issue this. So we're still waiting to see how this is going to play out.
And that's important to note right there. When Jeff Landry, obviously a gubernatorial candidate, John Bel Edwards coming out ahead of this legislative session telling lawmakers we need to do away with the death penalty here. So you got folks on the parole board, you got folks looking at them saying, look at this now before Governor John Bel Edwards' time runs out, because as you just mentioned, perhaps the other leading candidate on the other side of the aisle, when we talk about who could be leading the run here, leading the ship going forward, has already said, I'll be pushing back against that. So this story could take a lot of twists and turns.
We're going to follow it for you. We're also following what the governor is doing today. He's going to be speaking at the Baton Rouge Rotary Club today. They're going to meet at Drusilla Place Catering, and the governor expects to talk about his time, 2 terms as Louisiana's governor.
So what does he have to say a little bit later on today? Any kind of big takeaways? As Liz mentioned, kind of a look back at what happened, what's been going on, and maybe a look ahead to maybe where he feels the state has been set up as it continues to sail on without him in the big chair. We'll take a listen and be sure to follow up with you. Now this as well, we've been talking about this for the last, week or so?
Yeah.
Specifically over the last couple of days, big meeting.
I tell you what, Ascension Parish is growing. If you live there, you've seen the growth there. And so how does the parish accommodate for schools, the public schools? And so Prairieville High School is inevitably opening in 2024. So how does the growth happen here in terms of feeder school? Where do the kids feed into? Well, the school leaders would like your input on how you think this should all be distributed. The last of those public input meetings happening tonight.
So look, as a parent, 3 kids, anything to do with schools, attendance zones, where my child might be moved to, I want to know. These are big conversations. They've been well attended so far. One more tonight. If you want to know the where, the when, it's waiting for you right here at WAFB.com and the 9 News app. Waiting for you here in a quick minute. The LSU baseball Tigers set to take off a little bit later on today for Omaha.
That's it. 9 o'clock, be there, Alec Box Stadium there by Gate 3 and Gate 1. They want to let you know that you can send off the Tigers in fanfare fashion. We also have an update from the Baton Rouge Fire Department on that fire at the church.
Yeah.
We're now told that Baton Rouge fire investigators confirmed that it is an arson investigation.
Okay. So that just took a whole new turn here.
Yeah.
FDA able to get it out there, very quickly, put that out very quickly. Arson investigators on scene as soon as that fire gets put out. What they find leads them to determine arson as the cause.
So that's on top of the hot temperatures we're dealing with. So firefighters staying busy this morning dealing with that. When we talk about heat in the summer, it's not even officially summer yet, but we're already seeing a lot of the temperatures. I mean, look at the 10-day forecast here. We're seeing really high temperatures, and we've still got a week left, Steve?
Yeah, it's going to be some dangerous heat in the days ahead, Liz. Upper 90s. The heat index, especially by this weekend, could top 110. And we're just not, as like the case this morning, we're not cooling off at night in the morning. It's a cumulative effect through time. So take it seriously, especially if you have to work outdoors or don't have access to reliable AC.
You know, a little rain shower this afternoon, what's that going to make it do?
You know, it cools off a little bit, then you get the steam bath, right?
Okay.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, be careful out there. Make sure you're taking precautions, drinking all the water. We'll see you in about 10 minutes.